Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash. This is HeroQuest, and it's time for a BWODECAST. Sorta, kinda. Not your typical audio-only BWODECAST, and I don't have any platforms right now to which I am streaming or distributing my BWODECASTs because that costs money, and I decided it was better spent on other things for the moment. So anyways, welcome to the YouTube version of the BWODECAST. It's just me today. No guests, nothing like that. I just wanted to chat, keep viewers abreast of all of the upcoming changes. There's going to be a few, some of them visual, some of them audio. I'm pretty sure that's a word. Quality of content, quantity of content, content of content. But as usual, you can enjoy this best by setting me off to the side, just going ahead, finishing up those dishes, or picking up your clothes off the floor, or logging a new entry in HeroQuest, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. The thing that I'm referring to, by the way, is a journaling solo RPG. I backed it for $1. I didn't choose to go any further with it because it was just about SMART goals, which is something I'm already pretty knowledgeable of, and I thought I could probably just make my own SMART goal system for achieving daily tasks. But I don't really have the discipline to stray from what I'm doing now, so I'll just stay what I'm doing now, and I won't worry about spending the money on an RPG journal. But it was a good idea, and I encourage anybody who doesn't know about SMART goals to look into that if they think they could better manage their time throughout the day, week, month, or year. Links will not be in the description below because I don't have the time for that, for this. Anyway, I'm doing a couple of things. I have successfully changed jobs in real life. Content creation is not my full-time job, even though I wish it was. I worked in factory leadership, and the last several weeks have been somewhat bittersweet as I was finally given a date as to my first day in my new role, which is IT. Kind of starting over, starting to climb a new ladder at the company for which I work. At which I work at the company. I also work for the company. I really like prepositional phrases. I really like using them. Maybe it sounds pretentious. I don't know. I get a little rewarding feeling every time I do it, though. With a new role at my company comes a new state of mind, a refresh, a mentality change, and a schedule change. No longer do I work 3 long, harsh days on the weekends, all day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 12-hour shifts, in the heat, on the factory floor, stepping over things, helping people repair stuff, fix people, and generally working to propagate as much positivity and hope and growth with the shift as I can, while avoiding the recurring pattern of unpredictable negativity brought upon the entire shift by those higher than me in management, which I successfully did for 1.5 years before deciding I don't think I can do it anymore. To a completely new environment, one in which I am stationed in an office cubicle. I've got my own cubicle now. It's not one that I had to share whilst being a leader on the factory floor. And it's a bit of a weird situation because I'm going to be the only plant IT technician where I work. The other ones, the ones that I'm working with now, the ones that are helping me learn the ropes, my trainers, my management, all of them, they're stationed in the main facility, the headquarters, whereas I'm going to be basically working at a satellite facility. It's a bit of an odd setup, but it's going to work out just fine. I'm going to have autonomy. I'm not going to be micromanaged. And both sets of office personnel it's a completely different vibe than the factory floor. Not that I didn't love my team on the factory floor. And if anybody at all who was under my jurisdiction were to come here, I would say I'm going to miss my team terribly. I'll still see them because I'm going to be working, as I mentioned, since I have a schedule shift change now. I'm going to be working on Fridays. There'll be a little bit of overlap, and I'll still get to go out and say hi, and I will relish those opportunities. But this means that, dialing it back to content creation, I'm not going to have the same amount of time that I do now to make my videos, which is kind of jarring. It's a bit of a change. It's something I'm going to have to get used to. And so as such, I will be reducing the amount of video content that I put out in terms of frequency. I'm going to try to continue creating the same length of content. The quality of it shouldn't change. All of that stuff that I have worked to do up to this point using my lighting a certain way, setting up my camera and my microphones a certain way, editing a certain way, all of that's going to stay the exact same because I'm locked in to a sort of pattern as far as making the stuff goes. And it will bother me way too much to stray from that. And I definitely don't want to make lower quality stuff. I don't want to go backwards. So if you can consider what I do now any degree of quality whatsoever, I don't want to lessen that. I want to raise it. So I'm only going to try to get better as time goes on. And I was positively rewarded by a viewer who commented on a video that I showed just a week or so ago when I did a throwback video from Amalgam Ash about a HeroQuest subject. And they were like, the quality has improved leaps and bounds over time. I love seeing stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, instead of having 4 days a week to make content, I'm only going to have 2. So a couple of things have to change. One, I'm no longer making content for my Amalgam Ash channel. That means no more Let's Plays, no more video games, no more jams, none of that stuff for the time being. I need to figure out what I'm doing with the content on that channel. I don't necessarily want to lose the historical data, but at the same time, the historical data's only use, its only relevance is feeding an algorithm, and YouTube has no idea what to do with 1,000+ videos that have not a lot of views and just a lot of sparse stuff. So what I might do is one at a time, download those, upload those to a new channel that's more focused, a little more closer together, and resume a plan with a Let's Play video game channel, which kind of dabbles a little bit in devlogs and developing and stuff like that. We'll see. We'll see, because I don't know. I think I'm going to do tutorials and devlogs only and no Let's Plays. And I'll do some updates on DLC that are offered by the video game engines and stuff that I have done news bits and DLC overviews for in the past, but I'll actually take the DLC and use it in a development context and show people what things might look like. I'll do plugin reviews, things like that. I might do jams and Let's Plays of stuff as a more live situation, because I think the live streams are different, handled differently, algorithmically speaking, and that won't hurt the channel because gameplay and game development don't exactly go hand in hand as far as channel content and viewership goes. But we'll see. If I can establish myself more as here's development stuff and then get into the Let's Plays, that might really make a big difference. And I would like for it to, because that channel's sentimental to me. But at the same time, I'm about to dismantle it. So there you go. This channel, HeroQuest, has my attention. It gets the priority. It's got a lot more money and time invested in it, and it's had a lot more of a response. Just a exponentially bigger, maybe not exponentially. Yeah, I would say exponentially bigger, because it's not linear. It's quite the slope. Anyway, I won't exactly have to cut the content in half. I think what I'm going to do, and this has got nothing to do with any of you guys, is not even probably very entertaining to hear. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all my recording on Saturday and Sunday. I'm just going to record. And then I will have middle of the week Ash use what time he can to get back here and edit, because the editing actually doesn't take very long. I don't have a huge process when it comes to editing. I let Adobe take out all the gaps, and then I go in and decide if I need to apply any zooms and any transitions, and I lay over some music, which all of my music tracks, I've basically built my own soundtracks now. So I've taken music from the very talented Azakela, and I have merged them all into different extended pieces of series of tracks. You'll hear them repeated sometimes. And when I get time, I try to make more of those so I don't have to use the same number of tracks in more than one video at a time, in a row rather. Then I slap on the end screen as long as I don't have to update the list of patrons and channel members, and I'm good to go. Just speaking of channel members and patrons, I know I keep saying this, I'm still trying hard to figure out how the heck to reward those people who want to support me in that way. I've had a couple of live streams, and some of the live streams were really cool, with people coming on to purchase channel memberships for other people and super chatting. And I mean, that's not really why I live stream, but it definitely makes it easier to say on a Wednesday, I should live stream. I'm going to get on there and do that. Well, some time ago, I put out a poll asking if people would like to be a part of sort of a book club. and that got a positive response. I mean, there was no universe, I think, in which that was going to get a negative response. And I've been working on trying to change some things around back here to make a space for that book club scene. So what this kind of looks like is we've got our tapestry here on the wall, and this will change over time. I have it set up to where I can change this, and I have a few different backgrounds that I would like to put up over time, just swap them out from time to time, and we'll place the camera over there, and we'll read. We'll have readings of books, and when I say books, I'd like for the Let's Play books to stay on HeroQuest, freely available, things that people can tune in, listen to, watch my adventures as I fumble through a lone wolf and end up drowning because I had the heavy armor in fire on the water, or failing to open the third lock on the chest past the Warlock in Warlock of Firetop Mountain, or any of that stuff. That'll remain on HeroQuest and it'll be accessible. But the stuff that I want to read that might get me into some hot water, so we'll put those behind a Patreon door. So I'll be having a Patreon tier, and I'll put a link in the description below to the Patreon, wherein I have a book club. And if you would like to join in on that and have access to the book club videos, I don't know if those will only be on Patreon or if I'll have them on YouTube as well. YouTube, I'll probably have them on YouTube for channel members. So you could do one or the other. But then if I do that, I'm going to have to upload them twice. And that's one reason why it kind of sucks to have a Patreon and YouTube channel memberships turned on. Because if people want to support one way, they're not going to get the benefit of the other. And they should know going in where those benefits are. I'm probably going to have them on YouTube and not Patreon. That's where I'm probably going to have them. That way all your stuff is in one place. That's what I'm probably going to do. We'll see. I'm probably going to do it that way, but we'll see. We'll see. I made something, and I hope that people out there who are interested in this sort of thing will know about this and take note of it. But I have created an extended playing card deck template. Don't shut down. Let me explain. Have you ever wanted to make your own playing card set over on the Game Crafter? If you have, and you go to the Game Crafter, they've got a template card that shows you kind of the edge of the card that's going to be subject to the cutting, like definitely not going to be what's shown on your final product. And then there is a bit of a line around that says, here's where the bleed will be. Here's where, you might have cuts, so don't put important information. And here is the center of the card that will definitely be displayed should you wish to pursue this. I have created a deck of playing cards that are inclusive of a 5th suit and a 4th face card. Now, those are optional. So if you were just wanting to make like a normal deck of playing cards, I have some preview images here. But what this amounts to is these are sized perfectly to fit within that template on the Game Crafter. So if you download these and you decide you want to add your own images of monsters in the middle, or hit point bars, or locations, or quests, or whatever, or even if you just want to go a little bit more classic and traditional with it and just make your own deck of playing cards, you can do that. And you can make a 52 card set of playing cards using these, and you don't have to pay me anything except for this initial $5 price, and it gives you access to all of these cards. The artwork here, this is not really a lot of artwork, it's just the letters and the numbers that represent the different values, and then the face cards don't have any graphics on them. They're just like this, where it has the letter and the suit, and they are exactly aligned the way that they should be in case you want to do a repeatable image that happens when you flip the card. And the P is for princess. That's our face card, because there was a deck of cards, and I think it was French, but I'm probably horribly wrong, where the princess outranked the jack, and then the queen outranked the princess, and then the normal rankings followed suit, in either direction that you went. And the 5th suit of cards that I have in this deck is the star suit. And there have been a lot of different suits throughout the ages. We are probably most used to the suits that are used in the game of poker and solitaire and everything else that we play with the US deck these days, our contemporary universal playing card deck. But there is a German deck that has 4 completely different suits. Now, I mean, the oranges to apples, doesn't really matter what those suits are as long as you have 4 suits. Not really. But I was inspired to do this when I bought, and played 5 Crowns. 5 Crowns is a 5 suit deck of cards. and a game. It is missing a couple of cards. I think it doesn't have like 2s, and maybe it doesn't have aces, or maybe it's just the 2s that are gone, and it might be the 2s and 3s. I don't remember now. It doesn't matter. But when I was playing, I thought, man, I really want a 5th entire suit because I want to make up my own like solitaire game. And then I thought, you could also take this and kind of make them into adventure system components. You could have a deck of cards with additional information on every card. If you consider the frequency with which that card is drawn, 1 out of 52 or 1 out of 70, if you're using my expanded deck here. Anyway, I don't want to prattle on too much about this. It's here, and I'll have the link in the description below. And for $5, you get access to 73 cards, and all of the transparency and everything is where it should be. And if you line them up with the template in your own paint program, you'll see that these are all the Game Crafter ready. You could literally plug these in, print them off, sell them on the platform, whatever you want to do. You can't sell these like as they are. You need to edit them. You need to make them your own. But like as these are, they have the commercial license, and all the details are on the itch.io page right here. So I am working on a set of cards that follows the conventions I laid out a second ago with having RPG types of information on every card. I'm actually working on that. That's going to be a separate project. It is a project that utilizes those cards as a template. So I'll be able to say, this is the template that I used for these cards. But those cards I'm going to sell physically as a deck. I'm not sure from where. I think the Game Crafter, but we'll see. I've actually got part of that project set up on the Game Crafter, so I think that's the route I'm going to go. But I need to create the graphics, or finish creating the graphics for everything and lay everything out, which is really more what I'm doing than creating. I'm more of a layout person. I'm going to be doing a video fairly soon, shouting out a few stock artists on DriveThru and on Itch and on a couple of other platforms. And I've done a similar video before talking about licenses and why you shouldn't use AI or shouldn't need to feel like you need to use AI art for your project. I'd love to get creators away from the mindset of, well, I'm not talented, therefore I have to use AI. Or I'm not well-to-do enough financially to afford a real artist, and that's why I use AI. And I mean, there's going to be people who are like, well, I only use AI for prototyping, and then I'll use those images as if I could help get people out of the mindset of having to use it at all, I would consider that a huge win. And I think we would all be on the same page. If I could tell you to drop it completely as it relates to art and or literature, world building, anything like that, I mean, then I would tell you to do that regardless, but I can't tell you how to do you. But I would passionately counsel you to seek alternatives if you are doing that. And the video that I have planned that I'm going to have for you is going to help you with all of that. So you don't have to worry about being rich to afford an artist. You don't have to worry about being talented to get your vision out. There's a couple of artists that I really want to shout out anyway, so I'll be doing that fairly soon, I hope. I talked a little bit about video frequency. I think I'm going to try out one video every 3 days instead of one video every 2 days. And I used to be on the video every day schedule, so you can kind of see that I've only gotten slower as time goes on. It doesn't benefit me or anybody else for me to have a video every day. I want to throw that out there. It makes people, particularly those people who choose to follow me, my kind of demographic, my audience specifically, don't really have the time to watch a video every single day from me. And that's reflected in the numbers, and it's reflected by comments where they're like, man, I have a lot to catch up on. I don't want people to have to like binge content to feel like they have to keep up or anything like that. And it's also easy to miss videos and just not, catch up. And then later on, like I had a comment here very recently that was like, Ash, when are you going to give us your thoughts on First Light and do an unboxing? And I'm like, oh, here's the link to that video. It's from, 2 months ago. There was another one like that too. Ash, when are you going to unbox and review this game? And it's like, I did that like 6 months ago or a year. Here's the link. Oh, it was miniatures. It was actually Next Level miniatures. I mean, nothing against the viewers. They don't know that stuff's out there. They probably don't think to search for it. But it makes me think, okay, I'm going a little too frequently here. I'm going a little too fast. So video every day is like out of the question. A video every other day, right in my comfort zone. I really like that frequency, and I think people like that frequency as well. I don't really like doing a video every 3 days. That feels way too slow and too stifling. And I do want to cover stuff that's like newsworthy, like if Avalon Hill drops a tease or something for HeroQuest, I want to be on top of that. And that always happens on a Tuesday because Avalon Hill hates me Well, not anymore. Tuesdays, I'm going to get home at 3 o'clock, and I'm going to be able to make video content almost immediately. I mean, they'll still do their reveal at like 11 a.m. when I am knee deep in work, but my production is so fast, it'll make up for the amount of time that I have to wait to make the video. What else do I have going on? I tried to unbox fervently all of the games that I've had on my shelves back there, so I could make sure that I had some video content on what I have, just some content, not necessarily playthroughs, not deep dives, not will it HeroQuests, not like miniature comparisons, anything like that, unless I can, but like tried to really get in there and dig through it, unbox stuff and show stuff, some of which I've had for quite a while, and I'm glad that I had that sort of sprint because I anticipated a slowdown. But I think what's going to end up happening is like a video every 2 days, then every 3 days, then every 2, then 3, then 2, then 3. I'm not going to be doing just like 2 a week. I don't like that. And I don't like, the idea of saying, make sure you subscribe. I have videos every Mondays and Thursdays. I don't really want to be beholden to that sort of expectation either, because if something newsworthy happens on Wednesday, I want to cover it Wednesday. I mean, I guess I could do that anyway while still giving it. This is kind of a boring topic. I think I should probably move on. The HeroQuest Quest Jam is ongoing. It's going on right now. It's incredible. It's both ongoing and going on. HeroQuest Quest Jam 2025. There are 47 people who have joined. There are 12 entries as of the time of this video. Submissions are due in 20 days as of the time of this video. I think this video is going to go up tomorrow, so Monday, so probably you'll have 19 days and 15 hours. I mean, 15, maybe not 15 hours, because it's probably going to be like a 3 o'clock thing. Anyways, you got like almost 3 weeks to develop and submit your quest, and I really hope that everybody will, because this is the first time I've had a jam where the rules were like just so much more free than the previous 2 jams. Like basically I went from 14 rules to 7, and then I just added 1 rule that's like, keep things safe for work and tasteful and follow the community guidelines. That's my rule number 8. And then I said, you don't have to worry about number of assets used. You can use any number of asset now. And I've got an extra judge this year. We've got 4 total judges. So the game rating process should be a lot of fun, and it should be really interesting to see what each of us think about these games. And we do have prizes. I don't know if you missed that, but there are prizes. The prizes are Giles McNeil's Sunday Quest Conundrum of Yukthorn, which is a limited release, which means he can sell it whenever he wants, and he frequently has it re-released and stuff on Amazon. So sometimes it's available and sometimes it's not available. So you never know. You never know when it's never going to be available again. A print and play version of Deathtone's Mega Quest Awakened, and a huge thank you to Deathtone for sponsoring this prize. This includes the miniature STL files, a brand new Rogue Heir of Elathorn Hero Collection Pack, and a brand new Path of the Wandering Monk Hero Collection Pack. All the prizes, except for Deathtone's, are mine. They're sponsored by me. I'm sending them to you. I paid for them, all of that. This is not a sponsored event. New Avalon Hill could care less. So I hope you'll design a quest and join, because I don't know if I'll do this every single year. In fact, because of the experience of last year and the year before that I have gained, I have decided, I kind of made it sound like, well, because of bad things that happened. That's not how I meant it. Because of wisdom that I have acquired, new intelligence that I have accrued, I'm doing things a little bit differently with the presentations. We're only going to have 10 presentation videos, and each video is going to focus on 1 quest. And these will be the top rated quests. We're going to have the top 5 are going to all get their own videos. Each of the 4 judges is going to pick 1 quest to get its own special video. And then the 5th one, the 10th one, is going to be completely random. So anybody will be able to get a video. It's all equal chances as far as that goes. But yeah, I don't want to overwork myself with the videos. But this year also, the videos are going to be quite different, because I have found what I feel is like the magical combination of assets to use to present in a HeroQuest video. And if it's going to be for a jam, and that is the lovely Ian Schofield's beautiful dungeon mats, as usual, as before, because they're great. They can't be beaten. There's nothing better than an Ian Schofield beautiful dungeon mat printed using an inked gaming mat if you're doing it here in the US. If you're in the UK, you can drop your local print shop down below. And then, of course, the HeroQuest assets themselves, but also the dirt cheap dungeon terrain pieces. And I think at one point I was playing with the idea of using like furniture and stuff from Maladum. I don't know if I'll do that. I might do that. I'm really going to be working on decorating each of the quests and giving it a real immersive feel so that I can tell the story of that quest in as immersive of a way as possible. So that's going to be a first for this channel. I'm not just throwing the assets together HeroQuest style and saying, here's what's up. You're going to be paying a little bit more attention and giving a little bit more time to each of the 10 quests that gets a video, since I'm only doing 10 videos this year. I think that about covers everything. I've got an adorable piece of art of Nil provided by the lovely Shar, and I would like to say if you want to acquire this piece, I'm going to put it on some merch, and I'm still trying to figure out how I can do this without having to rely on Patreon, because Patreon's merch system sucks, but the one that YouTube wants me to use, which is Spring, sucks worse because they're like, go ahead and charge people $25 for a t-shirt and we'll give you $2 in royalties. And it's like, okay, well, people will get a shirt, but I won't be able to reduce the cost of the shirt at all. And until it's like, I get no money and they still have to pay like $20 odd for a shirt. And I mean, what are you guys doing at the end of the day? Are you screen printing these graphics using long lasting techniques? Or are the shirts going to be protected from shrinking? I mean, are people going to be happy with that stuff? Is it going to be worth it? How can I make it worth it? Walking back to the HeroQuest quest presentations, I really hope people take advantage of the liberal use of assets that are allowed in this jam, because I would love to do videos using the Dragon Strike boards and the Dragon Quest board. And I would love to combine the assets I'm going to use, the homebrew stuff for presentations, with those boards as well. I think I've spent enough time yapping for now, so I hope that all these plans and changes and everything turn out to be a really positive thing. I think that they will be. Join the Discord while you still can. I'm thinking very seriously about locking it up and having it to where only people who have a benefit, an active one, or have had a benefit in the past will be able to join. And all the people who are already in there will go ahead and just be locked in. I won't require people who have joined up to this point to purchase any kind of membership or join a tier on Patreon or anything like that. But I'm thinking really hard about making that one of the benefits in this big capitalist commercial racket environment that we're in. And if I don't completely lock it up against all new members who don't have an active benefit, I might at least maybe split the Discord up to where most of the channels are locked behind that role, and the other ones are the freely accessible ones. Anybody can come in and have whatever energy they want there in the welcome channels and the noob channels. And maybe you get access to the later channels if you just stick around and chat long enough to get a level up from the Me Seeks bot that's in there. It's one of my favorite Discord bots. One of my favorite Discord bot features is the level up from the engagement. I really like when people are active and chatting and contributing to conversation, even if they're just memeing or trying to be funny, or if they're showing off their paint jobs and their game reports. That's even more wholesome. That's really cool. And then they level up from doing so. And sometimes the post that you post to get your level up message is hilarious. And sometimes it makes total sense. Anyway, I'm also planning on getting some guests on here. I think I've been saying that for the last 2 years, but this time I've actually talked to real life people for real life guest spots on the Real Life podcast. So we'll see if this is where that will happen, or if that will be someplace else. I thought about doing the book club on a completely separate channel, and I'm not entirely sure if I will do that or not. I need to think about all this stuff a little bit more mathematically and what people would like to see more. So that might mean a few more. But anyway, I do thank all of you for tuning in, for watching, for listening, for kindly supporting with comments and views and likes and all that stuff that helps me grow the audience by pushing the videos to people who have similar tastes to yours. And there are so many more people out there with similar tastes to yours than you realize, especially when you go looking at those channels with whom I could be said to be competing with. I don't think I'm competing with anybody for attention or time. If people want to watch me, they'll watch me when they're ready to. But like the similar channels that cover similar topics and have a similar vibe, they have some serious followers and they deserve it, and they've worked hard to get those. But like, it just tells me that there are some numbers that I could reach. There's some goals that I could definitely aspire to. And talking about numbers is always a little bit weird because it seems like I'm doing this for insincere reasons when I'm really doing it for personal fulfillment. But I also kind of want to see if I can grow into areas, you know? It's like I might as well. I'm here. I'm doing stuff now. Let's go, 10K. If this video gets 10 million likes. Anyways, I will see you guys around. Thanks again for all your support. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and onwards. Until next time, brave heroes.